Okay, so today we're going to be looking at reflections and translations. And so the first thing we're going to be looking at is exploration, a core exploration, which you can find under the student resources for chapter 9, and this is section 9.1. It's talking about how to draw the figure of an image under a reflection. And this talks about using tracing paper, which you can do at home on your own. I'm going to show you how to do it on GeoGebra just because it's easier for me to do that on the computer for you. And then we're going to talk about what happens. So here's the GeoGebra tool. We're going to start first by drawing a polygon. Okay, check that box, and we're just going to draw a triangle. That just by selecting your 3 points and then connecting it back, and it lets it know that it's a triangle. And then we're going to draw a line to reflect it around. So we're going to come over here. And then we're going to go to the Transformations menu, and we want to reflect an object about the line. Start with triangle, and we want to click that line, and it'll reflect it around for us. Then what you're asked to do is you're asked to draw a line segment connecting all the points and their images and the pre-images. So I'm going to come down here, I'm going to select the segment. I'm going to connect A and A prime, B and B prime, C and C prime. Okay. Then if you're looking at the sheet for 9.1, we're looking at this portion here. It says make a conjecture about the relationship of the line of reflection to any segment drawn between a pre-image point and its image point, and then make a conjecture about the reflection image of a point that lies on the line of reflection. So what they're asking you to do is to look at the relationship between these lines here, these line segments between B and B prime, A and A prime, C and C prime, with this line that we reflected it around. So that's what the image that you can use to help you answer questions 1A and 1B on page 369, which is the first page of section 9.1 exploration. The next page of the exploration is page 370, which we're looking at here on the screen, and it talks about constructing a reflection image. And this is something that I'm going to be doing for you using paper and pencil. I think that construction is easier using paper and pencil than it is on GeoGebra, but you can use GeoGebra if that's the tool that you have. So we're going to go through some of the steps of how you can do that, and I'm going to show you at least one point and how it works, and then you can complete it on your own. Okay, so what I've done is I've just taken a plain sheet of paper and I have drawn a triangle here, okay, and then a line that we're going to reflect it over here. So I'm just going to take you through the steps of doing at least a couple of these vertices for you and what you need to do with your compass. I'm using just a regular compass. It doesn't have to be an expensive one. In fact, you can use a rather inexpensive one. I'm going to be using a protractor like this just because it came with a compass and it makes a nice straight edge. You can use any straight edge that you have because you won't actually be using the ruler in your constructions. You should not actually be measuring. You want to just be using it as a straight line. So the first thing that you want to do is we want to draw a perpendicular through A. So we're going to take it here, and you just want to make sure with your compass that you're going to hit the line in a couple of different places. So I'm going to start with point A, and I'm going to draw a curve just big enough so that it hits that line in 2 places. All right, and now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take it and I'm going to spread it out a little bit more. It needs to definitely be at least more than halfway across this. And I'm just going to take it and I'm going to draw an arc over here and an arc over here. Then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put the point of my compass on this other intersection where it crosses the line of reflection. And I'm going to draw, basically you're looking to draw the intersection of where those meet. So we're looking for this point here and this point here. And then what we can do is we can draw in the perpendicular. Okay, so this line that we just drew should be perpendicular to our line of reflection, and it should go through the vertex, which is A. All right, so then all we need to do is we need to make the measurement the same. So you're going to use your compass to measure, so you put your point here on the intersection of M and that line, and you measure out to A, and then you turn it to the other side, and I want to mark where that A prime is going to be, so it's going to be right here at this intersection. And I'm going to draw this A prime, and I'm going to make that point just really dark so that I know exactly what I'm labeling there when I come to it later. Okay, so we've done point A, and we're going to do one more point. I'm going to show you how to do point C. Okay, so we want to do the same thing. We're trying to draw the perpendicular that goes through C, and it's perpendicular to M. So I'm going to take my compass, and I'm just going to extend it so that it'll cross M twice. Okay, and then I just need something that is more than halfway across that arc. And so, oops, the pencil doesn't fit in there as well as the original one. So I gotta hold it to make sure. So I'm going to do two of them from that point on the top and the bottom. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here so that I get my intersections. Okay, and then when I draw in that line, it should go through C and be, it should go through C and be perpendicular to M. And then we just need to measure the distance again. So you want to use your compass to measure the distance over here to C. Your point on that line, and then put the pencil over here. And then we're going to do that same distance on this opposite side. And where that intersects is going to be C prime. And then you follow the same steps to do B. Okay, and once you have it done, then you connect A prime, C prime, and B prime to get your reflection.